Okay, it's my end of April update on my 32 gallon biocube. Everything is still going good. I did lose one SPS, my Orange Passion, which really sucks because that was a pretty cool one. It was doing well for a bit, and then not sure why it started necrosing. Again, I think it's because of how low my nutrients are currently in this tank. My phosphate nitrates are pretty low. I'm actually looking to feed a little bit more. They were high initially when I started the tank, or at least medium to where I wouldn't stress too much about it, but much higher than they are. Since the tank has matured, they've definitely dropped, which does happen with coral growth, consumption of nitrates and phosphates, especially softies, LPS, stuff like that. But I think that's what attributed to it, but my Walt Disney's still going strong. My no name acro actually knocked a piece off. Was super blue in the back, and I re-glued it to where the Orange Passion was up top there. My other SPS are doing well. My Setosa, my encrusting Monty, the Jason Fox one, I think it's called Silver Bullet. So I didn't do a water change for about a week, and I think what's happening is, and I was out of town. I think what's happening is when I don't do a water change, I'm dosing very low amounts of Reef Coat A and B, or not Reef Coat. Shoot, I actually forgot the name of it. Reef Pro A and B, as well as magnesium. I'm dosing that in very low doses because that with water changes, my levels have been really stable. But when I have to take off a week or something, like if I'm out of town, I've noticed when I don't do a water change, which I think balances out the chemicals plus adds trace elements that I maybe not getting out of the Reef Pro, even though it does dose trace. It has a little bit of a effect on my tank, and for some reason that specific LPS and another one too, I forget the name of it, just does not like. I think what happens is my alkalinity just creeps up just a little bit, not a lot. Maybe closer to 8 when I'm in the high 7s, and maybe a little above 8, and it does not like that for whatever reason. Every coral is a little different in every tank, but that one specifically hates it. It comes back. It'll come back again here probably within a few more weeks. It'll start rebounding as long as I can maintain my water changes and fixing whatever it likes. But again, because it's doing that, and I did lose my Orange Passion, I don't go crazy and start dosing or removing, changing schedules, getting nuts with lighting. I would like to get a little bit more flow in this tank now that it's grown quite a bit, and I have a lot of corals that are basically, my rocks are almost completely gone, covered anyways. So I think the flow isn't enough. That it has a little bit to do with some other health issues with some corals, but the majority of them are doing great, man. Everything's doing really well. Fish are doing good, corals doing good, and like I said, I'm just consistent in maintaining what I got. My water changes, even though I had to miss a week, which shouldn't affect it that much. But being in such a small system, in my personal thought, nanocubes and smaller tanks like this, obviously any kind of small swing or you take a little negligent on maybe your upkeep has way more drastic effect. Whereas if this was probably, 60 something gallon to 75, that Jason Fox Silver Bullet and another coral, maybe they would just thrive in there because the swings wouldn't be as much when it does happen. But again, I do test frequently. I'm not seeing huge up and down spikes in anything. That's why it's a little odd to me that a couple of corals are doing good and some are not. But I do think it's a little bit to do with nutrients, maybe a little bit to do when the alkalinity just creeps up a little bit. But the majority of my corals in here could care less when that happens. So, and that's all I care about. The majority of them are happy. I'm not going to change what I do or how I maintain because one or two took a dump in here and just died off. It is what it is. That happens in every tank. Just be consistent and stable. My firework, or I think they're firework, clove polyps in the back there, they're getting a little crazy, man. I had to cut them back. They were starting to surround and smother my couple of SPS up top. So I trimmed those back, put them on frag plugs in the bottom down there in front of my Gonapora. But everything's growing like crazy. Like I said, I've had my purple monsters are just going nuts. They're already encroaching on my clementines and my hornets. I got blue and red. So I don't know if he's going to take over all of them. I'm not sure what I'm going to do if that happens. If I just let it do it. And hopefully they survive it and still grow in patches, or that just what happens. I don't want to pull that rock out and just start slicing up a bunch of SPS and stuff, even though they've all started off with a few heads, and you can see how crazy they've gone. That anemone's still in there. I do want to get rid of him. It's stinging the crap out of my Miami Vices, and it's starting to encroach my bird's nest and my SPS that I really like up top there. It's not as swelled up because I used a pipette to agitate it closed. I'm probably going to start doing that every few hours or so. Usually when I do that for about a day or two, make it retract in the rocks, and you keep doing that over and over again, it causes them to move, because then they start being unhappy and they're not getting enough light. But I would suggest if you do that, be home for a couple of days, so when they do move, you can grab them before they set up shop somewhere else. It's going to be even worse. But yep, I know some people commented about me keeping it and all that, but for this size tank and when I'm looking for corals, my clowns could care less. They host in the anemone too, but they also host in the Gonapora, and they're happy. But either way, that's the update for the end of April. I'll give another one in May. Everything's going strong. So catch you guys next time.